Next week starts family time. We have Thanksgiving next week. In a month, we have Christmas. A week after that, we have New Year's. And all of this time is going to be spent with family. But you want to know something else? For the last 2 years, we've spent time together. That's right. This is our 2-year anniversary here at An Apple a Day. So we're going to discuss all of that today. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. Please be aware that the comments, views, opinions shared on this podcast are not meant to diagnose a medical problem and/or legal problem. If you do have a medical problem or legal problem, kindly contact a professional.
Welcome to An Apple a Day, a podcast, a resource, a community. Share your experiences and learn from others as we overcome barriers and learn to live a happy, healthy life with a disability. Welcome to the community. Here's your host, Jimmy Apple.
Welcome to another episode of An Apple a Day. I'm your host, Jimmy Apple. An Apple a Day is brought to you by www.famousapple.com. Famousapple.com is the home site for this podcast. So if you get a minute, go over there, check it out. That's www.famousapple.com. And if you want to reach me by email, you can reach me at jimmy@famousapple.com. That's JIMMY@famousapple.com. If you have a question for the administrators or the managers of the podcast, you can reach them at admin@famousapple.com. That's ADMIN@famousapple.com. So, how you feeling today, my friends? You feeling good? You feeling strong? You feeling better than you did yesterday? Excellent. You can't ask for better than that. We have got a good one for you today. Not only are we into the holiday season, but have I got good news for you or what? Today, this day, is our 2-year anniversary. 2 years that we have been getting together at least once a week at An Apple a Day. 2 years. 2 years, my friends. And people said that this wasn't going to last. People said, nobody wants to hear a podcast about being disabled. Well, this isn't a podcast about being disabled. This is a podcast about dealing with disability. So they were all wrong because we've grown. They said, you might get a couple of listeners here and there. You won't last past 5-10 episodes. Well, we're almost at 150 episodes over the last 2 years. And not only are we heard in every state in the United States, every state in the United States, including Hawaii and Alaska, download our podcast. We're heard in 63 other countries. There's 63 other countries that are downloading our podcast every week. So I don't think we're doing too shabby here. And it's all because of you, because you come back every week. It's because you tell your friends. It's because we're not just a podcast, we're a community. We don't tell people, we're not here telling people how they should live. We're giving suggestions. It's a give and take here at An Apple a Day. So it's not just our anniversary, it's your anniversary too. So happy anniversary. 2 years we've been together, and we're going to be together a lot longer than this. Trust me, my friends, trust me. Now, on top of all of this, a week from yesterday is Thanksgiving. Yeah, next week is Thanksgiving. And then a month is Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. Then the week after that is New Year's. That's right. But you know what this all has to do with everything? This is all family time. Family time, yeah. And being disabled, our family dynamic, sometimes is a little bit different. And that's what we're going to discuss today. When I first became disabled, I really didn't have any want or desire to join into family celebrations, especially around the holidays, especially that first year, because I just felt awkward. I felt out of place. I felt like I didn't belong. I didn't want people making special accommodations for me. And, well, my wife talked me into going, and sure enough, people did. They made special accommodations. Like I had bad legs in the beginning, and they were like, well, let Jimmy sit at the head of the table so this way no one will bang into him and he's out of the way. And that just bothered me when someone said, put Jimmy over there so he's out of the way. But they meant well by it. Nobody meant anything malicious about it. They meant well by it. In my mind, though, too, that set the tone, in the beginning at least. And I'm like, yeah, well, put Jimmy over there. He's out of the way. But I quickly got over that. Now, another thing is that people coming that don't see you all the time, that maybe they only see you around the holidays, they heard that you got hurt. So naturally, they're being nice and they're saying, well, how do you feel and how did it happen? And, let me just put it this way. When they're asking you, how do you feel and how did it happen, they're not asking for the gory details. They're not, trust me. And a lot of people that are disabled because there really is nothing else going on in our lives. This is the main focus of our life. Sometimes we get carried away with details, and other people just aren't ready for it. They really didn't want to know, trust me. When people ask you and they say, how are you feeling? That's a greeting. That's a salutation. That's not them saying, well, how are you feeling? Believe me, they don't really care. I mean, they do care. They're being nice and they're asking, but they don't want to know every detail. You don't have to tell them every little detail of your health. I mean, think about it. You're sitting down to Thanksgiving dinner. Aunt Jenny's on the other side of the table, and she says, Jimmy, I felt so bad when I heard that you got hit by a truck. Oh, my God, how do you feel? How did it happen? Are you okay? Well, no, Aunt Jenny. See, truck hit me, and when it did, my face went through the windshield, and my legs got caught under the engine compartment, and they had to use the jaws of life to cut me out. And when they did, they nicked my arm, and I bled so bad that they thought I was going to die right there, and they thought they had to amputate my arm, but instead they had to amputate my leg because the bone was sticking out. And you're saying all of this while someone else is saying, pass the cranberries. I mean, it just doesn't mix with dinner. It's not dinner conversation. And they really didn't want to hear all the gory details. It's nice. You just say, well, yeah, I had an accident, and let it go with that. And the other thing that I feel, I don't want people to feel bad for me. I've said this before in the podcast. I'd rather be the guy that they say, look, he has a disability, but he really gets along real well with it. Instead of, oh, there's poor Jimmy. That's the guy in the wheelchair. I'd rather someone say, oh, there's Jimmy. I don't want them to define me by a wheelchair. I don't think anyone else should want to be defined by their disability because you're so much more than that. And especially at a holiday party, it irritates me when someone looks at me and they have those sad eyes, that fake sympathy smile, and says, oh, poor you. Don't, oh, poor me. I'm just as able to eat as you are. I don't have to eat with my feet, you know what I mean? Something else that comes up at these parties is you always get that one guy that's going to compare something that happened to him to whatever happened to you. And whatever happened to him is always going to be 10 times worse than whatever happened to you. And I've had that happen to me. Oh, I can't tell you how many times. And it's always by the same person. It's a cousin of my wife's. And he's always got to tell me all the gory details. And you know what? Good for him. If that's what he wants to believe, God bless. I'm not competing with you. You're not going to... I don't want to be pulled into this competition. Some people will tell you, well, this happened to me because they want to make you feel like, you're not alone. But you always get that one guy that is trying to compete with you to make it sound like, what's wrong with you is nothing. And you know what? That's fine. What's wrong with me is nothing. What's wrong with you is everything. So you can have that crown. That's yours. And that's how you have to feel about a guy like that. And don't play into it. If he's telling you that what's wrong with you is nothing, God bless him. And you know what? Agree with him. Yeah, you're right. It's absolutely nothing. You're 100% worse. Go lay down. Get away from me. That's how I feel. That's how I deal with it anyway. Now, something else, too. You got to remember, people are inviting you to their party, their dinner, because they want you to be there. They're not inviting you out of pity. It would be easy just to ignore you. and say, well, I didn't think you'd want to come because, you're not feeling well. They're inviting you because they want you to be there. So be a gracious guest. Me personally, when I get invited anywhere, if I want to go, I always ask if there's something I could bring or something I could do or, anything I can do to help. And 9 times out of 10, people say, just bring yourself, bring your appetite. But it's always nice to be a gracious guest. And don't go there with a chip on your shoulder, and don't go there and sit in the corner and go, oh, poor me, poor me, I'm so disabled and I can't get out much. People don't want you there because you're disabled. People want you there because you're you. Remember that. They want you there because they enjoy your company. And that's just something to think about, too. You get some people that go and they want that negative attention. They want that attention. They want people to look at them and say, oh, he's disabled and look how bad he is. If that's what you want, you know what? You're better off staying home. Don't ruin other people's good times. I hate that. And if I'm not feeling well, honest to God, if I'm not feeling well and I think I'm going to interfere with other people's good times, I honestly turn down the invitation. If I'm not feeling well because I know I'm going to go there, I'm not going to feel well. I don't want to bring anyone else down. I don't want anyone walking on eggshells around me. That's just me, though. But keep in mind, people invite you because they want you there, not because they feel bad for you. And I've seen too many people, they go there and they play up their disability. And they eat up that attention, that negative attention. And that just annoys me. That's just my opinion, though. Now, something I do want to prepare you for at a gathering, especially if this is the first time people are seeing you, if you have a physical disability, a visible physical disability, such as in my case, I'm missing a leg and I have a kind of a, not mangled, but a deformity in my hands because of neuropathy. People tend to stare in the beginning, and you know what? You got to give them that chance to take a look at you, because it's not something that they see all the time. And you really can't take offense at it. I mean, if they sit there the entire night looking at you, well, then after a while it gets to be annoying. The one thing that I was concerned with was the kids, the children. I have a nephew that I love to the moon and back, and I was always concerned what was going to happen when he was old enough to realize, because he's a young little boy, that I didn't have a leg. And it happened not too long ago. He came up to me, he says, Uncle Jimmy, he says, where's your other leg? And I looked down, I said, oh my God. I said, when I came in here, I had 2. Where is it? And he thought that was the funniest thing since Ice-T. I don't know why. But he started asking everybody if they seen my other leg. And I said, I only have 1 shoe. Where's my other shoe? You got to help me find my other leg and my other shoe. And that just became a standard joke. And it's been that way now for a while. And other kids will laugh at it too. If you try to hide it or if you try to shy away from it, kids will feel funny around you. But kids are great. Kids are resilient. Some parents don't want their kids to see this. And I don't know why, but some parents don't want their kids. Like I've had a parent one time in the mall, and the daughter looked at me and she pointed and she said, I heard her say it, he only has one leg. And the mother grabbed the daughter by the head and turned her head and just kept pulling her away by her head. Now, whether the mother was embarrassed that the daughter said it or she didn't want the daughter to see it or whatever, it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter when people look because it's not something that you see every day up close and personal. So if you do have people looking at you because you have a physical disability, don't feel out of place because it's new to them as well. And maybe they might have questions for you and answer them honestly. Don't feel like they're putting you on a spot. I mean, think about it yourself. If you've seen something different, wouldn't you have some questions too? Don't take it as being mean-spirited is what I'm trying to say. This is just my opinion. And this is what helps me get through some of the dinner parties and the family get-togethers that I go to because I don't see all these kids or all these people all the time. And when they do see me, not that I'm an oddity, but I'm different from other people physically. And you know what? The kids I'm more concerned about the kids than the adults, to be honest with you. The kids come right up, and the kids are resilient. They come right up and they look. And at first, some of them are like horrified. They're like, oh my God, what happened to your leg? And of course, I don't tell them. I don't go into detail and tell them it was amputated. I'll come up with some cockamamie story like, I don't know, I was walking in and I can't find it now. and they just love it, and they go off on it, and they don't treat me any different. I'm Uncle Jimmy in a wheelchair. So just be prepared for people to ask questions, maybe look at you a little bit differently for a little bit, but after a while, that's going to just dissipate. All right? Again, this is just my opinion. These are things that have happened to me that I want to share with you so you're ready for them with the holidays. I just want to remind you of one more thing with the holidays. I don't want to be preaching or anything like that, but I want to remind you that diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, they don't take a break for the holidays. So neither can you. Enjoy the holidays. By all means, enjoy the holidays, but do it sensibly. You're a diabetic, you got to watch your sugar intake, you got to watch your carbohydrate intake, you got to take your medication. You're a heart patient, you got to watch your fat intake. If you have high blood pressure, you got to watch your salt intake, your sodium intake. Watch your diet, okay? Enjoy the holidays. By all means, enjoy the holidays, but don't go crazy. Don't think like, well, I'm going to take a day off from taking my medication. I'm going to take a day off from my diets that I have to follow, because the diseases don't take a day off. So neither can you. I just want to remind you of that. Please, it's very important. I want to be able to talk to you next year at this time too. Well, there you have it. Those are my suggestions for next week's celebrations, next week's dinners. You're celebrating Thanksgiving with family? Those are my suggestions. We're going to talk more about dinner parties as the month goes on, and we're going to talk about the holidays. So you want to keep coming back. Now, another thing I want to do here, I want to wish you a happy anniversary. Happy 2 years of an apple a day. And yes, I'm wishing it to you because without you, there is no apple a day. So happy anniversary, everybody. And remember this, no matter what, things can always be worse. Right now, there's somebody wishing that they were in your position. That's right. So have a great day, have a great weekend, have a great Thanksgiving, and I will talk to you next week on Black Friday. Have a great weekend, my friends. Happy Thanksgiving. You've been listening to An Apple a Day. My name is Jimmy Apple.
Thanks for listening to An Apple a Day with Jimmy Apple, your gateway to a happy, healthy life. Join our community at www.famousapple.com. See you next time.